Hey, welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns. Welcome to the Winter Randomizer Tournament Season 3 to lower bracket round 5 to neefe versus Requiem. My name is Tresco, and after like 6 days of like flu and all the weird kind of things that nobody wants, I'm back in action. So let's dive right into the action that I was just talking about. For now, for the first few minutes with iBot and me, because our actual commentator for tonight, which is original Elijah, is still on the road from what I gathered. So yeah, hey iBot.
Glad to be here again. I'm gonna be tracking once Elijah gets here, but might as well talk about what's happening while we're waiting for them.
Yep.
And looks like we're off in SRS, so just half a minute or so.
And yeah, this is lower bracket round 5, so still a best of 3 of course, and like with any other lower bracket race, the loser of the full match goes home. This is game 1, however, so yeah, nothing major to decide here yet. Game 2 and 3, if needed, will be on Thursday from what I gathered next week, and we're off.
Yeah. Looks like neefe is not going to the diamond step early, while Requiem is going for that.
Yeah, he's going to Forest Haven first.
No Wind Temple or Earth Temple in logic. So quite a good dungeon layout for the siege. Both Wind Temple and Earth Temple are some of the longer dungeons. And Wind's getting diamond step early, so let's see if that will pay off him. Meanwhile, neefe doing Forest Haven, going to do one of the more common tricks in this game called storage. It's the worst.
From a tracker perspective, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So what storage, so specifically he's doing what's called chest storage, where he's getting storage and then opening a chest. And doing so cancels the animation of opening the chest, which means you don't get to see what you get from the chest. But it also puts you in a state from the animation that decreases your hitbox, so that allows him to walk up this wall and get this nice chest out of logic. Where he's just gonna do it again to go up to Birch Peak Rock.
Hello.
Hello, Elijah.
Sorry.
And yes, storage should totally be banned.
Sorry, but I'm here.
Can you up your mic a little? Just
yeah,
a notch.
Is that better?
Yeah, a lot. Thank you.
Okay, looks like iron boots from the first storage. Meanwhile, first chest and diamond step didn't give anything.
Oh, I'm gonna have to catch myself up here really quick.
Yeah, I'm just... Whenever you are ready to take over, just tell me. Didn't get anything from diamond step early. Got iron boots, it looked like, from the brief look from hospital. And nothing else visible. We don't have Earth Temple or Wind Temple today. That's pretty much the seed so far. So
okay, nice. It should be relatively quick, hopefully. He said it sounds like, going from what I'm reading in chat and everybody saying, neefe skipped diamond step.
neefe did not do diamond step early, that's why he's already on Birch Peak Rock, and diamond step early didn't have anything, so
dang, that's very fortunate. I always find that whenever I skip Diamond Step, that's when it does have something. And when I don't skip it, that's when it doesn't have anything. So I think these seeds can sometimes be, you know, they change, right? They sense what we're thinking, and then they're malleable. You know, it's just a theory, though.
Looks like Neefe got a treasure shard from the second storage chest and a picto box from Birdspeak Rock. So
Picto box is always super nice to have before Windfall, because there's some cool tricks you can do. I do like this. I always like this jump slash here, getting over there. I can never get it really quickly like that in one try, but it always feels really nice. Damage boosting. Yeah. Iron boots for wings, as I guess we all already knew. I hate this storage spot as well. I can never get it quickly. So, definitely a fan of this dungeon layout, although it always is a little bit interesting when you have DRC in there, because you don't know if something good's going to be in there early on that's going to help you out later, or if, you know, the grapple hook's locked behind something in one of the early DRC checks, but it's not in DRC. That's always kind of annoying, like a forced double dip, if you will. We're gonna have Winds going up to Bird's Peak now to get his Picto Box, while Neefe heads back to Windfall. Yeah, the Cloud character model is pretty cool, although I've always been wary of using the really complex models, because, you know, you have so many things that you like to line up with, like Link's feet and stuff like that, and it's not always the same. And I'm already bad enough. I don't need something like that making me worse. Gonna play hide and seek with Link's feet. Yeah, I mean, they're you know, they're feet, right? They're all right. And nice and, you know, oval shaped. Or maybe those are just the shoes. I guess we've only seen the shoes, right? But we're going to see Neefe start the hide-and-seek minigame here with the kids, and kind of route that in with grabbing a couple other checks here. Oh, another Picto Box. That's really cool. Saves a little bit of time having both of those before you go and take the first picture in Lenzo's house. It's always interesting to see the beginning of seeds, kind of see where the you know, the seeds want you to go. It's usually it's almost like as you collect items, the seed, the randomizer sort of starts to tell you a story, right? You know, it's like you're going to get like the grappling hook and some other things like the leaf, and you're going to think, oh, you know, it wants me to go to DRC, or you're going to get the boomerang and the leaf and stuff like that, and you're going to say you're going to feel like, oh, you know, maybe it wants me to go to Forbidden Woods. So there's a lot of thinking, you know, that you have to put into stuff like that. We'll get to see what you think about Menenko. Unfortunate, Knight's Crest, not really useful in any way, shape, or form for us. So we're going to go ahead and try and catch the second kid here. And assuming all goes well, we'll get to see what our boy Tingle has for us. And Wynn's picking up his treasure chart there. he's going to opt for the soft reset strat to get out of there a little quicker. Yeah, it always seems like Minenko has something cool, like, oh, when the Picto boxes are held really deep in dungeons and stuff, it always seems like you get something really cool from her, like a bow or the last master sword, you know, or something like that. But unfortunately, that's not the case today. Oh, there's our hook shot. Could be interesting to see if Neefe gets a bottle or something like that. See if he decides to go to, and Din's Pearl, something we also need. If he decides to go back and check Diamond Step when getting maybe Grandma or the Outset Fairy or something like that. So yeah, Tingle having a couple of very nice items. And Wynn's going to go ahead and start his hide-and-seek mini-game here, as Neefe is speaking to Tot and getting a treasure chart, unfortunately. Wynn's going to come in here and have Maggie give him his second Picto box to get the deluxe version so we can get our beautiful in-color photographs. As Neefe finds the last of the 4 killer bees. And we'll get to see what the kids have for us today. And a skull hammer. Very nice. That's a nice item to get. Definitely a much needed item for Forsaken Fortress. And a couple of overworld checks makes them a little easier. Oh, and the jukes coming out of one of our killer bee friends here. But luckily going sort of the direction you would want to go anyway, so that's not too bad. I believe the custom character models are exclusive to the randomizer here, as unfortunate as that is. I'm not sure personally of any way to get the custom character models into the vanilla game, but that I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on that, unfortunately. Yeah, it would definitely be really awesome. You might be able to, I'm sure there might be somebody in the Discord that would know for sure. Maybe there's somebody out there working on some sort of mod for that where you can use these character models. Obviously, the technology to do it exists, right? So, yeah. And Wynn's going to see our green clothed friend and get all of his cool stuffs. Yeah, there we go. Just need a setting and randomizer to not randomize anything. I like it. So what you're seeing with Neefe here is he starts, you know, he talked to Mila, the girl there, and what, you know, basically she's going to be trying to steal something from the safe in the, down kind of in the area where we were just at. And she runs a route, and you're supposed to kind of follow her, you know, and see where she's going, but obviously we all know where she's going. So since it's a required check, and it takes around 2 minutes, I believe, for her to run the cycle to get to where the safe is. We usually like to try and find something else to do in the meantime while she's running around. And what you're going to see Neefe do here is get storage and store the door to the second floor of Lenzo's. And then he's going to come over here and wait for Mila to come all the way around and catch her in the act of breaking into the safe and get her item. And there she is. And then the cool part comes where he can walk back over and open the bottom door, and it will actually warp him back up to the second floor, because the game thinks that that's the door he's opening because of the storage. And it basically saves the time of, instead of sitting there waiting for Mila, then, and then now having to climb up there and jump across, he can just walk over here, open the door, and whoop, here we go, upstairs. Now how cool is that? And a rupee bag, not bad at all. Cabana deed, not bad also. Not great, but, not bad. And so there's another check where you would get a picture of these two together for the two lovely ladies out in Windfall during the daytime. They like to talk about the people of the town. And if you get a picture of those two together, you show it to them and they'll give you an item. And obviously we're going to be hoping that it's something really nice. Could be talking smack. I always call them the Gossip Girls. I think that they're, everybody, we all know somebody that's into the gossip, They're like, oh, this person's with this person, and you know what I mean? We all have somebody like that. And of course now Wynn's going to be going for, I would assume, the same strat that Neefe did, going up top and, activating the... And there's the Deku Leaf, so that's really nice. Nice item. Of course, we need that to get into Forbidden Woods, and we're going to check the rupee bag mail now. So when we get that wallet upgrade, we get a letter in the mail that's also going to give us an item. We'll get to see what that is here. And a golden feather, so not great. But, the leaf obviously is really nice. And yes, unfortunately too, but we're off by basically, I would say, one spot for the leaf prediction. Now we see Neefe going to paw print, and the nice thing about paw print is if you know the right strats, you're supposed to need bombs or the power bracelets in here to get all the checks, but if you know a thing or two, then you can actually get everything with just the leaf. You don't need anything else. And there's the grappling hook check, so. Ooh, Wynn's falling down there. That's very unfortunate. Looks like he's just going to go ahead and opt in to wait for Mila and then go and enter Lenzo's. Yeah, a lot of nice stuff from Windfall so far. I got hook shot, skull hammer, the leaf, cabana deed, good stuff. Good stuff. I'm sure Neefe really hoping he'll find a grappling hook in here so he doesn't have to come back. And there's a Tingle statue. We don't need those, but it's always cool to see them. I mean, they are made of gold, right? Everybody likes gold. Except, I suppose, for people that might be allergic to gold. But now we're going to see a cool strat by Neefe here, where he's going to basically sidle along the wall, and you can you can be allergic to gold. I've seen it. No, I don't know. It's I think you can. I don't know. But anyway, if you can do what he did there, right? You can sidle in. You can get squeeze right in between the rock and the wall, and then you jump across and get the item. Of course, unfortunately, it's not really anything for us there. But similar strat to get the other chest in there. You can sidle along the wall there, hop up on top of the rock, and you can actually use the leaf and glide across. Looks like Neefe is not going to be going for that strat, though. Interesting to see where he's going to go next. Play looks to be outset, so probably going to be checking Diamond Step now. And if our information we've been giving is correct, since I missed the beginning, which obviously will be, not going to be finding anything of much value here in Diamond Step, unfortunately. So this is going to be a chance for Wins to sort of make up the lost time. as he comes out here to get his Deku Leaf. So we'll see if he goes to paw print and he does the strat that I was mentioning that neefe elected not to do about leafing out of bounds across the other chest. We'll see if maybe that pays off. I'm wondering if he's going to do that now. Yeah, it's understandable to go here at this point. There's not a whole lot of other checks open that I can think of at this point, really. Other than going into DRC, and you really don't want to do that unless you have the grappling hook. When's getting his Knight's Crest. Always fun to get spoils. Not. Gonna get his, what was this, a golden feather? For the rupee bag? Yeah, that's right. See, my memory is awesome. Ooh. So we'll probably see the paw print play here. Oh no, looks like Winds is just going to go ahead and warp to Great Fish. And let's see what he decides to do. Gonna probably be Western Ferry there, I would imagine. It's the only real reason to go here at this point. And neefe is going to be using the leaf strat to get back over here. And, you know, he is 50 rupees in a treasure chart richer now. It's a pretty, you know, pretty bold play, right? I mean, there's not really... You got the skull hammer, so, you know, there's not a lot of places to go. It's a pretty slow check, but, you know, figuring you want to go here anyway. And you can check the salvage core from this side as well. Oh, thank you for the positive information, Jarhead. And thank you, Lone Wolf, there for passing that along to us. neefe going to be following suit and coming over to the Western Fairy Island, it looks like. See, this is the things that I like, right? You know, we're all in this together, passing on the information, coming in clutch to help each other out. It's fantastic. And let's see what we have here in Western Fairy Island. Is it going to be something good? Oh, of course it's not. Well, there's also the Thorn Fairy Island, which is pretty much just as far out of the way at this point for everyone. And I'm just kind of racking my own brain here, trying to think. That's probably it other than DRC as far as places to go, right? I'm not missing anything, am I? Trying to think here. Looks like Thorn Fairy is going to be the play from Winds. Probably really hoping for the grappling hook. I suppose if one... with the hook shot, it wouldn't be crazy to go into Forbidden Woods also, I suppose, at this point. neefe is going to go for DRC, so the big play here could be what's in Thorn Fairy. If Thorn Fairy has the grappling hook, that could be huge. You know, that's really, really important item, especially with neefe looking like he's just going to go ahead and go into DRC. Thinking it may be some kind of required double dip here by the randomizer into DRC, or that the... Yeah, when you think about it, you know, you have the warp pots in the other two dungeons that you could use to get back to DRC at any time, right? Yeah. See, Tuba knows what he's talking about. He should be in here, too. He's got the big brain strats also. We're going to see here, though, this is going to be the Thorn Fairy, and in all honesty, I suppose you don't really lose a ton of time going for this Thorn Fairy play here. That I'm not sure of, Bacon. I am not sure if they... I think they just planned for one race today, from what I understand. And I think I'll stand by what I was about to say there. Going for Thorn there, not a huge time loss because it's so far out of the way anyway. Of course, it has nothing as we see, so DRC looking like it's going to be the play. Okay, so the other two races are going to be next Tuesday. Very nice. Look at that, vanilla small key. Who'd have thought? Now we're going to see Wins going ahead and going into DRC as well. Neefe doing a cool storage strat to skip a little cutscene there, as you could see. Well, if that's the case then, Melon, God help us all. Although, in fairness this time, the dungeons are pretty good. Pretty fast dungeons in general. So, with that regard, we'll save a lot of the time back from it being bad seed. Oh, look, Faeror's Pearl, so that's good. Wins has not done paw print yet. Which is pretty bold play, if you ask me. I mean, there's... I suppose it's only one in logic check, but you could realistically, with the items he has, you could do three checks in paw print, and another small key. So that's going to keep us going here. The big scare, I'm assuming there would just be not getting a small key, and then of course having to. Whatever the required item will be, it being behind the Faeror's Pearl. Mail check. And the power bracelets. So there's our paw print checks. Be interesting to see how that goes. We already know one of those is just a piece of heart. And so it's really going to be the other one. Which it does make sense for Grapple does having a higher likelihood of being here, as there's a lot more checks here and only a handful of them actually require the grappling hook. That is true. There, iBot, that does open Bomb Island for us, which, you know, is always a lot of fun, you know. We love Bomb Island here in the Wind Waker community, the randomizer community, of course. It's a really good island, you know. It's got, you know, nice round-ish shape, you know. Looks kind of like a bomb. Pretty cool. I see we're getting our torturous seed ideas going in the chat here. Probably gonna see Neefe, for safety's sake, I would imagine you're gonna want to do the small key skip here, which is a cool trick. Basically, we don't know if the key is gonna be in. Oh, he's just gonna open the chest. And it's a bottle. Interesting. Gotcha. Could have been a good play to have here, because if these others, if the last, I mean, this last small key could be here in the bird's nest. Could be vanilla, obviously. But if it's down in the basement part, in the big key area, then that's really bad. And that's going to be, and there's the big key. So unfortunately, it looks like Neefe is going to be done here in DRC. Understandable. But I suppose at this point, the thought process being, if the small key is down in the basement, then it's locked behind grapple hook anyway. So that means that the rest of the chest in the dungeon can't be the grapple hook. So you need the grapple hook to finish the dungeon anyway. And so it makes sense to do it that way. But we'll see. Maybe the Pharaoh's Pearl mail check has the grappling hook. Also very possible. But now we also have, kind of like we mentioned there before, the other check in paw print. Eastern Fairy opens up, and of course Bomb Island, with Neefe also being able to do Thorn Fairy, even though we all already know that that does not have anything. And there it is. There's the grappling hook. And looks like Wynn's already backing out as well to check that. So he's going to get his grappling hook also. And now what's going to be the play? If it was me, I'd probably clear out paw print and then see what you have. You could end up, if you get something like the boomerang, and it could be maybe the game telling you to go to Forbidden Woods. Because then from Forbidden Woods, you could just warp back into DRC. That could definitely be a big time play. But we'll see. You know, the nice thing about warping back in is it puts you right by where that basement door is if you're Neefe, so that way you can just go down there, get your last small key, and whatever else may be in the basement, and finish up. And it looks like that is maybe what Neefe's thinking. Finish up here, finish off some overworld checks, maybe even go into Forbidden Woods without the boomerang. We obviously we will see. I'm gonna see what this check is, and it's a skull necklace. Unfortunate. Oh, our last hope for paw print. If paw print is or is not completely worthless, we will see. Yeah, walking back up into DRC is pretty slow, especially if you have the warp pod open. I agree with you as well too, but you can, because you can get to the warp pod in logically now with the grappling hook in Forbidden Woods, and you don't even need the boomerang. So if you don't find it there, even if you're wanting to play by logic, then you can hop back into DRC from there, and you don't really lose that much time. And we have a bow. We have ourselves a bow from paw print, so paw print not being worthless. That's going to be really nice for Neefe if he does decide to go to Forbidden Woods next. And I am definitely interested in the play. We'll probably see Eastern Fairy, obviously, and then go from there. So we're going to see if Wynn's decides to do the small key skip on his end here. Yeah, paw print going from a real downer to being a really great great place for us to go there. So I am curious. I would like to see if he's going to do the small key skip or not. If not, obviously that's understandable, but definitely a play that could pay off for you here, especially if you end up being able to skip the basement entirely. Looks like he is going to go for it. We're going to see the small key skip, so that's going to be very nice. This was a bottle, correct, iBot. So yeah, so you guys are going to get to see a pretty cool trick here, known as the small key skip. You can get chest storage there, and, you know, walk across here, and you want to kill this bird because otherwise he's going to troll you. And there's the command melody. Not a required item for this seed, at least with the tricks and plays that we know, but you know, logically is a necessary item. And as you can see, we're just going to kind of walk through walls here, and we have skipped the small key. Wynn's going to pick up his big key here, and we'll get to see where Neefe is going next. The play is going to be outset to check the outset fairy, and I'm assuming that's going to grab the fairy from the top, get the get the item from there, and then also save Grandma. I know how much everybody loves when we save Grandma. And also, Neefe is going to be able to have soup, obviously, going into whatever dungeon he decides to do next, which my assumption is probably going to be Forbidden Woods. So being able to do these both at the same time is definitely a nice thing to be able to have both available. As we're going to see, Winds proceed through DRC. Still, one thing to note: still no bombs yet. So there is a tingle chest in here that we won't be able to get at this point. Until we can find those bombs, of course. Another item in this room, we're going to have to kill all the enemies and light the torches on fire. Everybody loves the torch puzzles in pretty much any Zelda game, you know. Light the torches, a chest appears out of nowhere. Yeah, that's something I wasn't really thinking about it a ton at first, but now that, you know, once we got to that room, I started to realize, you know, hey, we don't have bombs yet. That's 2 checks in DRC we can't even do. But there are the bombs. The bombs are in DRC. How about that? So that tells us that the small key really has to be in the big key chest. Interestingly enough, so that could potentially help with, and there's our boomerang, Outset Fairy. So now we can, I would say we will definitely see Neefe going into, and a Master Sword behind the bombs in the, okay guys, we're popping off now. So I'm going to say that Neefe is probably going to end up going to Forbidden Woods next. That does make the most sense, especially now that he has the boomerang. So yeah, very, very nice play there. The DRC ended up working out. So we're going to see how this goes for Neefe. Of course, that means we know that the big key chest is going to be the one that has to be the small key because the bombs are behind the 4 small keys. Very good point, Tuba. We're going to see Neefe save Grandma, just like we've all been wanting all day, and we're going to have the soup here. So for those of you that don't know, soup is really nice because you can use that to refill your health and your magic pretty much whenever you want. Really good. Wynn's getting 400 rupees richer from the checks before the boss in DRC. Very nice. We don't really need rupees in this run, but, you know, hey. I was going to say it could be worse, but I was trying to think of how, and then it really can't, can it? And there's the third pearl. So now we have Tower of the Gods in. 1 check in Tower of the Gods. So that's interestingly. So we are... Wow, we are pretty much just looking for swords and bows at this point. At least as far as the chat goes. And we have very fast dungeons. So we're going to have Neefe warping to Tower of the Gods. But he is going to go... Is he heading to Cabana? Is that where he's going? It looks like maybe. Yep, that appears to be where he's going. So we're probably going to see him do the Cabana Deed skip at this point because he does not have the delivery bag. Very, very interesting play here. Yeah, we're going to see... It's going to be very difficult for us, you know, as viewers to know who really is ahead at this point. Because the routes are going to be very, very different. Bob Island. Yes, Bob Island. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, never mind. I forgot we have that command to tell us who's ahead. That was my bad, guys. You know, the sad thing was there, I didn't even see him get the storage. He must have done it so quickly. Void has been on a pretty good streak. He's been ahead for, you know, in a lot of these races I've been seeing for a long time now. He's been really killing it. I mean, if we're going by, you know, amount of time being in the lead, he's definitely top tier. Alright, and we're going to see neefe abuse the hitbox on the skull hammer here to hit these switches, or, you know, hammer pegs. I don't even know what you want to call them. But anyway, you can hit them through the wall. That's pretty cool. We're going to get to see how well this cabana play is going to pay off for us. Could be interesting if there's a sword or a bow in here. Let's see. We have a piece of heart, so, you know. And it is enough for neefe to get his fourth heart, which is, you know, when you consider the fact that you're going to be getting a bunch of checks that are obviously going to be treasure charts or, you know, things that you don't want, having some extra hearts isn't too bad. Now, orange rupee, so nothing in cabana for us today. And we see Wins over here going for the Goma fight. Going to be getting his first Triforce shard here, or Triforce piece, however you want to refer to it. And looks like Tuba's call is correct. Neefe heading to Bomb Island, and then probably gonna head to Thorned immediately after. Had trouble coming up with the name there. And here we are, guys. Everyone's favorite island, Bomb Island. We're in there. We're doing it. We gotta fight some magtails. Turn, you know, get them all rolled up into their ball position, and then we're gonna set them on some switches, or throw them on some switches, and we're gonna get an item. And it's not gonna take forever. It's going to be very easy and very fun, and we're all gonna enjoy it, and nobody's gonna get upset, and nobody's gonna fall into the lava, and none of the magtails are going to fly off the side and misbehave as they can do. See, look at that. 1 for 1 for neefe. Wins, of course, finishing up Goma, and is going to be heading out of here. Also, hi Pogi, how are you? I just try to be confident, you know, and try and use willpower to outdo the seed. You know, you have to, and the game, really, I guess, it's less the seed. Bomb Island is Bomb Island, regardless of anything. So. I'm doing pretty good. I actually ate a little while ago before I ran out. I had some errands I had to do, but then I came back just in time to get to hang out with our guys here. And hey, the mirror shield could potentially be useful depending on what's in Angular Island. Does open up an interesting point here for neefe, going to Angular versus going to Thorned, because as far as he knows, right, the Angular Island could have his bombs. It's a very tough position to be in, honestly. The play looks to be Thorned first, and then maybe we'll see Angular. And we have Wins coming up on paw print, so he's going to be able to do everything here. And he's going to get his first bow and nothing else, because there's nothing else there. The Vanilla Wind Waker is a very fun game. I've personally always enjoyed it. It was one of the first Legend of Zeldas that I really got into. And the randomizer is really great for it too, because you're getting to play Wind Waker, but it's it's different every time, right? It's almost like a whole new game with just the same sort of mechanics each time you load it up. Wind's picking up his bow here. Yeah, I've played a handful of the older ones, Ocarina of Time included, and I always get the flame for this one, but the Wind Waker is still my favorite. It was the one that it just spoke to me, I could feel it. I felt the Wind Waker. Although that being said, I do really enjoy Link to the Past. Obviously, that's not one of the ones you were listing there, but I found it fun. And so we have Neefe. He's at Forest Haven area. Is he going to go into Forbidden Woods? It looks like yes. We are going into Forbidden Woods. We're not going to check Angular just yet there, even though he does have the Mirror Shield. Interesting to see how Winds goes about this. One thing that we're going to have right now, right? Neefe not going to be able to get the Tingle Chest just yet in Forbidden Woods, but I'm assuming he would probably be going back into DRC fairly early, given the fact that he has the grappling hook now. Yes, I'd have to agree with you too. I'm willing to bet he would get both of these checks here. Not going to use a storage strat. Going to grab a treasure chart here. And that's probably, I would say, the safer play to go right back to DRC at this point. Even though all of Forbidden Woods is in logic, but you really want to go back, finish DRC, be done with it. Wind's picking up his command melody there. That is a good point, Jarhead. He did not do the small key skip, so... Very, very good point. It is sometimes hard to think things that way, because we know it's the smart play through hindsight, right? Because we know the bombs are there, so we know it's able to be done. But Neefe, these are things Neefe does not know. And yes, it does appear so. So that is a huge advantage there for Winds picking up that second bow from that. I think I'm pretty sure it's bomb mail. I think it has to be bomb mail, right? Because we already know Farore's mail was the grappling hook, and I haven't seen anything else that would give us mail yet. So this is going to be interesting. We of course know that DRC is really, really good, obviously, because there's also a Master Sword there. And I guess technically, if you count, since the bombs are there, the bow has, or the bombs have another bow behind them. So really, that's another bow in DRC. So very, very stacked place, DRC. And we have the Hurricane Spin. How about that? Don't get to see that one every day. Neefe going over here for the left side. Really, worst case for Neefe is if the small key in the small key in Forbidden Woods actually also is in the tingle chest. That could be potentially really, really bad. Maggie's letter. Not a bad find. That could potentially lead us to something. Perhaps a bow or something like that. Although we still do not have the delivery bag, so we will just have to see. Unfortunate bomb drop there. He did check the one in the main room. I'm not certain. I actually can't remember if he got the one. I don't think he went down to the big key area at all, if I'm remembering correctly. But we knew... Oh, and there's the last bow. So we have all the bows now. Wynn's going to have light arrows by the time he's done here, so he's just going to need 2 more swords. But yeah, I'm not sure, Star. I actually can't remember. So we're going to have about, you know, basically 50-minute light arrows here. 52 minutes or so, depending on how, you know, long it takes him to get up there. And Neefe heading to the basement. That's true, he does need the pearl, which we all know is in the Grandma mail. Which, in all realism, we'll probably see him check relatively quickly, because since he does have a bottle, he will be able to get both of those checks in one go. So it makes sense to do that. Just, you know, thinking from a pure check density standpoint. But yes, the skipping the boomerang does take a little bit of time, and obviously fighting Calidamos without a boomerang is not ideal. Not ideal. And we're gonna get that nice strat here, throwing the boomerang through solid matter. It's a really, really fun strat in this game that does work. Hashtag boomerang mechanics. And there's this small key. Correct, yes. The boomerang was in the outset fairy, and the last pearl was in Grandma's mail. We would believe, DGS, that Neefe will probably be heading back to DRC pretty much right after this. Although, it is possible not, because at least as far as he could think logically, the bombs could be anywhere. Even at this point, they could be, for him, even behind fire and ice arrow check, so it's really hard to say. Yeah, it's tough to say. It depends on the thought process. It's really bad for him because, like we said, the bombs are there, so there's no real way for him to know that. Vanilla big key, very nice. But we'll get to see here. Maybe we'll see a sword here. So we could see, if there is a sword in Forbidden Woods, we may end up seeing Neefe go straight to Forsaken Fortress after this. It's going to be interesting, though. You know, there's a lot still to be decided. And as with the most interesting thing, we have 2 swords left, right, that we're looking for. And there's only one place that the swords can't be. They can't be in the light arrow chest. So that's going to make this a very, very big game of, you know, routing and, you know, strategic guessing. You know, clearing as many checks as fast as you can, but also if you find the one, then, you know, you're in there. I agree with Neefe's decision here. I always like to kill those P-hats because they're very, very horrible. They're not very nice. I find them incredibly disagreeable. Not pleasant at all, really, to have to deal with. We're gonna see Winds grab his light arrows here, so everybody be ready for that. A little difficulty with the bomb throwing and things getting in the way, but there's the orange rupee, and next we have, oh hey, the telescope. Not very often you get to see that, as it's one of the most useless items in Rando specifically. There's the light arrows. Yeah, this seed has been, after Windfall, you know, big-time dungeons. Big dungeon play. So it looks like we're going to see the skipping the boomerang strat here. Going to be getting storage, storing the door, and then opening the other door. Fun times. Piece of heart in the mini-boss. Not really amazing, obviously. I'm still looking for swords, really. Of course, Neefe is looking for bombs, but of course we all know he will not be finding them here. And we have one more chest here. And another orange rupee. So one thing we will get to see on Wind's side that we did not get to see on Neefe's side is the Tingle chest. What is in there? That could be huge, really, if it is one of the swords. Obviously, the chances of that are really, really small. But if that is the case, then you know that is a massive, massive advantage. Bottle is definitely not a bad guess. Not a bad prediction. True, could be some kind of letter of some kind, or even possibly even the delivery bag itself. Although something like that, maybe the delivery bag might not be something that Winds wants here, especially if it ends up leading to nothing. Because that could send him down, you know, a rabbit hole of. You know, it's really hard to say. That's, you know, that's the excitement of Rando, right? We just all have to kind of wait and watch and see what happens, right? Very exciting. Neefe doing really well in here with the boomerang throws. Really, really efficient elimination, if you will, of Calademos. Oh, here we go. We are going to see what this is, and probably a treasure chart, honestly. It's the map, the dungeon map. Oh, you know what? We probably could have made that prediction, actually, because Neefe didn't get the dungeon map, did he? Yeah, so that is better for Neefe than there. We'll see how this goes for him, honestly. Yeah, so now we have big question here. Where does he go now? Doesn't look like he wanted to go back to DRC yet, so he probably is going to go check some of those fire and ice checks. Yeah, it seems like he is. Oh, I guess he might be thinking possibly, like we're going to see here, the letter to Orca, I suppose. Earth God's lyric, not useful at all in this scene. He does still have the warp pot in Tower of the Gods, but you know, that's probably not where he wants to go. Going to be checking Southern Ferry, and he's going to be getting. What was in Southern Ferry? I don't even remember. Wasn't anything good. Yeah, it is weird without bombs. Not impossible, but yeah, doing it without bombs is very slow, unideal. He does have the leaves that will help speed things up a little bit, but it'll be interesting here. Oh, this is Hurricane Spin, that's right. Now I'm remembering. There is a Warp Pot, but that Warp Pot unfortunately only goes to Earth Temple and Wind Temple. The Warp Pots are basically in groups of 3. Yeah, because you can get across to the side that requires bombs without the bombs, but there's also the chest behind the bombable walls, which, you know, you can also get to that, as I've seen Jarhead do many times. But it's one of those roll clips that I can't ever get down correctly. So it would be a very, very slow way to go about it. Probably better to just go back into DRC. It's a vanilla way, if you will. At least for time-wise. But we're going to have the hunt for bombs, it appears, on Neefe's side, as unfortunate that is. I mean, maybe he might also find one of the other swords, so that would be cool. That could push him towards Forsaken Fortress fairly early. Yeah, it does appear so. Although this one maybe not so bad for him, because he can check this and do Angular. That is one we haven't seen yet, and he does have the Mirror Shield. So if that has a sword, that could be really nice for him. Wind's using the bow there. Always a fun strat. Feels pretty good to do, you know, it's not that difficult. Yeah, the sword could potentially do that for him there, which would be not the best, unless there is something else in Forsaken Fortress, right? I mean, we're still at the point to where the letter from Errol could have potentially the last sword, I suppose. Or, I mean, it could be anywhere in Tower of the Gods. It's really, really interesting. Right. It's just, you know... And at a very good point also, the sword could be in Hyrule. Hey, there's another telescope. Or rather, I should say the telescope again. Slowly beginning to look like the small key skip may have been the play for this particular seed. But obviously we're still early, right? We're only an hour in. Who's ahead? That's a great question. It kind of depends, right? You know, we're, I would say, Wins definitely has some more items. He definitely has a little bit of an advantage, I would say, at this point, but it is going to depend on the last 2 swords. Where are they? And there's Moblin's letter. So another letter there that has been found for Neefe. No delivery bag yet on either side, so no real use for the letters just yet. The play will probably be for, I'm imagining for Wins, it's going to be almost an immediate Forsaken Fortress after he finishes up here in Wind Temple. That would be pretty insane, Dev. I'm about it. That is definitely fun. Yeah, we're going to see sort of a interesting strat here by Wins. He does not have the boomerang, so he has to kill Calidamos by throwing bombs up, which is, at least when I do it, it's not really that much fun. I don't enjoy it, and it's, yeah, very much not the best. Yeah, that would be pretty... You know, you guys are getting me excited, because I love thinking stuff like that's going to happen. Yeah, that was a very interesting strategy. Bomb boosting up into the flower, very cool. We have another bottle coming in, so we are now halfway to the fabled bottle percent. And now he has his second Triforce Shard. Neefe has cleared a lot more overworld, so interesting. And we have some fruit, a pear. It's going to be interesting to see what he does. My money's on he goes straight to Forsaken Fortress. That's my guess. As we see, Neefe is going to be heading to check for the fire. A nice check here on Needle Rock. Gonna get his Earth God's Lyric here for Wins. And it looks like he's going to be doing some overworld as well. Makes sense, I suppose, go right over here. Does not have the mirror shield, so he can't get the Moblin's Letter in Angular Island just yet. But could be interesting for Neefe if this leads to a... If the delivery bag is here, that could definitely be very interesting. Yes, this and Fire Mountain if you don't count the delivery bag checks. That sounds like that's pretty much it for Neefe. Wind's coming over here to the... Excuse me. To the Ice Ring Isle check, which we have all, of course, know is not quite there. Nehru's is Grandma's mail. Letter from Grandma. Yeah, it's not very common you find much in the Fire and Ice checks, unless you get a couple of really early fire or bows. I always find myself looking for bows, so usually Fire and Ice checks are like the last ones available, and then you're only, by that point, you're only looking for swords or light arrows, generally, you know, more times than not. But we'll see, and we'll get to see. Ooh, Wind's falling into the water. That is unfortunate. Neefe heading over to Tower of the Gods. Wondering if he's going to be using this to get back into DRC, or if he's going to be heading maybe towards... Nope, he's going in. Yep, looks like he is just going straight for the skip here, I'm guessing. Or he might be going for a couple of other checks while he can, but this is definitely a really interesting play. Boxes. Bold play. Could be a sword. Or it could be, you know... Yep, looks like Neefe heading over here to rescue Grandma. Not sure if he'll check the outset ferry or not. One would assume, since he's here. Might as well. Yes, it makes sense to go here, honestly, if you think about it, because he knows the tricks. He can get back into DRC from here. Although he does have Fire Mountain left, but the way it's seeming right now, he doesn't want to do Fire Mountain at all, which is understandable. Fire Mountain is a little bit slow and tedious. Nope, he is save warping out. Oh, which obviously he has to. That is probably one of my least favorite places for bombs to be, in that back there, you know. Not the best. But we're gonna see what the play is. It's always fascinating to see the different thought processes, you know. Ooh, didn't quite get inside the wall. Neefe does have soup though, so that is nice for him. Yeah, small key in there is a bit unfortunate. Nehru's Pearl, 4 wins. Probably going to be heading his way to Tower of the Gods here shortly as well. Wondering if he's going to do that, or the Forsaken Fortress first. It's going to be interesting. It's definitely weird. I'll give that. Doing it after Grandma. It's interesting to think. You know, the Forsaken Fortress is so short anyway that it doesn't really save you a ton of time doing the go mode versus full clearing. And same with Tower of the Gods. Tower of the Gods go mode probably saves more time. It probably makes sense to do Forsaken Fortress first, even though there is more checks in Tower of the Gods. And you basically are full clearing it anyway. Yeah, Forsaken Fortress is very, very fast. And then, you know, Neefe not opening up the warp pot. Interesting. Yeah, so we may see him go into Tower of the Gods first. Yeah. I mean, getting the command melody, you know, the stone tablet check isn't too bad, you know? Yeah, because these checks are all behind bombs and logic, aren't they? So that means that he knows that the bombs can't be here, and the bombs are really what's holding him back. Maybe hoping he gets a sword. And Winds is going to go into Tower of the Gods first. And we're going to see what's over here on the left side. We are still missing 2 swords. Everybody remember, we have 2 swords. We have no idea where they are. There's 1 sword in DRC. There is a compass on the stone tablet. Not good for Neefe. Bombs are in DRC in the pot room, where you have to light the torch after defeating all the enemies in there. I guess you don't have to defeat the enemies to get it, but yeah. Dungeon map for Winds, and the second check here. Orange rupee. Yeah, I think I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. It looks like the small key skip was the play for this seed, at least how it's going so far. Obviously, still anybody's race because, you know, we still don't know what's going to happen. But there's the big key for Tatenchi, so Wins does not have to worry about having to skip that, which I think is sometimes can be a bit of a nightmare. And he's going to be checking the chest behind bombable walls here. We'll see what's in that check. And we have Neefe going into the mini-boss now. Yeah, I've never seen it set up that... I've seen it set up kind of like that, but where you look at the wall closer to you, not the opposite wall. So, you know, very interesting. It's always nice to see the different strats that different people have. And we're going to see an ice arrow jump slash. And a green chew jelly behind the bombable walls. So, Wins, of course, knowing that the small key is in that hop across box is checked now. A treasure chart for Neefe. So he's most likely going to be skipping that, I would imagine, unless he forgets. But, we shall see, though. Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting. You know, it's because it's a little different from, you know, a lot of go modes, right? Where we're missing one item. We are still missing 2 items, so definitely something to be kept in mind. Neefe finishing up his second statue here. We also still do not know what is in the Tingle chest. And yes, we do know there has to be a key upstairs as well. We have seen the compass. We have seen, like we said, the one small key. And Wynn's got the dungeon map, so we have seen, and the big key, I believe. So I believe we've seen all of the dungeon items here. Although somebody definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but alright, Neefe going to go back to DRC now. Chad is very, very thankful. Let's see where he's going to go about it this way. The leaf pumping way. I can never do this strat, so kudos to him. And let's see what's in the Tingle chest. It's all-purpose bait. Exactly what we've been looking for. Now we have access to hints, guys. Now we can get us some hints. Here we go. Now this is a seed. We're going to see what's in this check as well for Wins. Looking like he's going to be going into this room first, though. Interesting. The only thing about hints, at this stage, this far in, not going to be getting very much use out of the hints. We already have pretty much all the items.
Come on.
So the likelihood of getting a hint that tells us where one of the swords is fairly small, unfortunately. Wins is going to be taking his statue with him. Interesting. We're going to be seeing Neefe going to have to go back through DRC this way. Not electing to shoot down the platform, which is an interesting call. He's going to make the cycle, and he does. That was close. Very monk-ass. Silver rupees up top here for Win, so still no sword. Still no second small key. We're going to have Neefe going ahead, and he will be getting his bombs and his first Master Sword very soon. I almost would be willing to bet that Neefe will just go back into Tower of the Gods normally, just because, you know, he still has a lot on the first floor that he will want to clear out, you know. Correct, yes, Neefe has done a lot of the overworld, pretty much everything except for Fire Mountain. Yes, the bomb play was unfortunate. Yeah, in the pot room, so not this room right here, but the next one. There's our compass for wins over here, so we're going to get to see some more Tower of the Gods checks here in just a few short moments as he finishes up these areas. Yeah, Fire Mountain could very definitely be one of those last two swords that we are looking for. We still only have found one sword, remember. No checks in Forsaken Fortress are known, and most of the end of Tower of the Gods is also not known. We do not have the delivery bag yet, so there could be something behind that, so... could be something very interesting to find for one of our... whichever one of our runners finds it. Or it could also be, you know, if the delivery bag is a troll and none of the letters lead anywhere, the delivery bag could be not a good thing to find. You know, it could end up wasting your time. Neefe getting his bombs. Here we go. We have a run now. No, I'm just kidding. Of course. But he's going to go back and check this Tingle statue chest, and he's going to get himself a nice hearty Master Sword. Look at that, there it is. We're going to be heading forward here, progressing through and finishing up DRC. And I'd be interested to see if Neefe ends up deciding to just come back to Tower of the Gods after clearing out everything else. He is going to get his light arrows from the bomb mail, as we all know. He may decide to go to Forsaken Fortress before finishing Tower of the Gods, just in case. Although it's hard to say. Could be an interesting play to see. It is always exciting to see the runners take different routes, just because it, you know, makes things a little bit more interesting. I think going to Forsaken Fortress could be better because he's going to have to go back and check the first floor of Tower of the Gods anyway, or at least you would think he would want to. So it could, if he goes back in the regular entrance to Tower of the Gods, it could, you know, save him a little bit. Or maybe he's going to bank on skipping all those first floor checks, which of course we all know are, you know, there's nothing there. Although he does not know that, but that doesn't mean he won't take the warp pot back and just finish Tower of the Gods the regular way and then go back to the first floor if he needs to. There's definitely a lot of options, you know. It's going very well. Thank you for asking there, Wolf. I'm going to assume that that's good to call. I am also, it's a tough call, you know. I think I usually, personally, like to do Forsaken Fortress as soon as I'm able to, just because it's so fast. But that does not mean that that's the right play. It could be completely go mode, although I don't know how much time you lose by full clearing of Forsaken Fortress if it's a go mode dungeon. But the more we see of Tower of the Gods, you know, the less there is there. Now, we haven't found anything yet, and we are missing 2 swords. And, I mean, they could both be in Forsaken Fortress. But yeah, thank you for asking there. And I hope you're doing well as... I hope you're doing good as well there. And we have ourselves quite the interesting race on our hands here. Wolf is fine. Okay, thank you. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. But yeah, we actually do not know. We could have, and Dev mentioned it earlier, I believe, the the delivery bag could be in the Master Sword chamber, and that could lead us to one or both of the swords. You know, it's definitely anything can still happen at this point. There's the second small key in Tower of the Gods, which means we have one more check in this room, and then we have the big key check. So it's going to be interesting here, guys. If this check has nothing in it, then we're looking like this is going to be a really, really interesting seed. Neefe going to be collecting these two chests here, which both have silver rupees, and then finishing up DRC. And wow, so we know that at this point we have one last check here in Tower of the Gods. So very, very, very interesting. We still need 2 Master Swords. Only the big key check left in Tower of the Gods. So we only are going to find at max 1 Master Sword here. Possibly even 0. That's going to really open up the potential for where is the delivery bag, and how about Forsaken Fortress? What is there? No one has gone there yet. We have no idea.
Come on.
So this is different. This is Neefe has not checked the Tingle statue chest in the basement of DRC. So the play could be to do that and warp back to Tot G. That I'm not sure of. I know we found the dungeon map. That was in the mini-boss check. Obviously, we found all of the small keys. Does anybody remember the compass? I always hate when those fireballs hit you like that. That feels bad for Neefe there. Neefe does not have the DRC compass marked on his tracker. So yes, it could very well be in that Tingle check then. That is a good point. He does have his tracker up on his stream. Like that. So the play may be... Maybe that is also why Win skipped it. Because I think we all agreed earlier we didn't see him go for it. And the very rare killing Goma with the hit from the grappling hook. Always like to see that. That's always fun. I always track the dungeon items too, but I don't know what you're talking about. But that's just because I don't have enough brain power to remember everything that I've got and don't got. iBot. That is true. He does have the Tingle statue marked on there. Oh. He's very thorough, I agree. Well, we're going to see what's the play. The play that's really awesome for entertainment purposes on our end is going to be going to Forsaken Fortress, but with the save warp, it looks like he's just going to hop back over to Tower of the Gods, finish that one up. Purple rupee, so no swords, nothing. Tower of the Gods had nothing. There is nothing in Tower of the Gods except for the Triforce piece. So that means that the rest of us here are going to be sitting here in chat screaming, "Go to Forsaken Fortress, somebody!" It's going to be, we're going to have to go with Dev's call earlier. I'm hoping for the delivery bag in Hyrule and both the swords behind that. But man, if 2 swords are in Forsaken Fortress, that's crazy. We also haven't seen Fire Mountain yet. And in all reality, I don't think if I'm Wins here, I would be clearing the overworld before going to check Forsaken Fortress. It's so much slower. It doesn't make much Unfortunately, this time, Earth Temple is not in logic for us today. As unfortunate as that is, I do love Earth Temple. I mean, going. And it's still on the card. The cards are still, you know, it's on the table there for us, Dev. I think that would be pretty interesting as well. There's our map, dungeon map, for Neefe, and some rupees as well. I know he was feeling like he was a little low on rupees earlier. Just kidding. And we also have, as interestingly to point out, we have not found Note to Mom yet. Nobody has found that. Wins has not done Cabana either. A lot of, you know, still really anybody's race. Running out of arrows there. Gonna need to get some of the famous Godin snot arrows. Yeah, at this point, well, you know, it depends. Like when you still need 2 swords. It's different when you only need 1 go mode item as opposed to 2. So I haven't quite seen. I don't think I've ever seen a seed quite like this one. So. Melon's out here to torture us all with what sounds like one of the most incredible seeds I've ever heard of in my entire life. That's the kind of stuff I live for. And only 1 more Triforce Shard needed for wins there. So I think if it's me, if I'm you know, sitting there, if I'm wins Requiem, knowing what I know, knowing what he's seen for the seed, probably not a bad idea to just go straight to Forsaken Fortress. Looks like that's what he's going to be doing. He's going to be going to Forsaken Fortress, Mother-Child Super Swim. We're going to get the last Triforce Shard and check all the checks there and see if we can find ourselves some Master Swords. Well, we all just have to put our bless RNGs in the chat and hope we get that famous, gorgeous, beautiful Hyrule delivery bag. Please, please, please. Bless RNG, as they say. Well, and you know, the crazy thing is, we are really also... We are only at an hour and a half on this race, and we're basically going to be done with all the dungeons here very shortly. Wins is going to have finished and gotten his last Triforce Shard, so we can do it, guys. If we believe hard enough, we can manipulate the universe to give us what we want. Yeah. Wind gods are, yeah. There you go. More rupees. You know, and when you have a challenging seed like that, I feel like it's more entertaining for everyone else, right? Because you want to see how these runners are going to, you know, how are they going to respond? What's the strats? Because I've always felt anybody can do a seed where it gives you all the items at the beginning, but it takes a lot. It takes a lot to be able to, you know, put together and get a really solid time on a seed that's insane. And between those, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 checks behind delivery bag, and as you just listed there, 2 of that is six checks. So it's almost a 50-50 really. 6-4 with regards to total checks, and we need 2 Master Swords. So yeah, it's actually maybe not the delivery bag in Hyrule, but something being behind the delivery bag is probably a lot more likely than we think. Wynn's going for the storage here. He's going to be doing the fast Helmarock strat. Going to be getting storage, which allows you to walk around during this cutscene, and if you drop down inside to the bottom of the room there, you can actually battle Helmarock inside the room, and it's pretty cool. The bomb mail there, Wolf. Once he goes to a mailbox, he'll get a lovely letter from the beetle telling him that the beetle is stocking bombs for him, and he'll give him the light arrows. And as we see here, Wynn's is up on top of the jail cell, or the... what even is that? Yeah, that's one of those jail cell things. So now we just have to wait for Helmarock to come down and hope he doesn't soft lock. And it looks like Wynn thinks he's soft locked, so he is going to be soft resetting. Unfortunate Helmarock software, soft lock there. Neefe going ahead and going for his last statue. Helmarock software. What I meant to say was that I don't know what I'm talking about, so it's okay. Yes, and then of course we also always have our favorite, like to say, I mean, if you get big time trolled by Puppet Ganon, that is also the part where the race could go anyone's way. It has been a while since I've seen a full clear seed, so it's me, I'm by myself, but I think we're having a good time, and it works out okay because I'm going to need, after this race, probably to rest my voice for a while. It's okay though, Don, because I'm always alone. That's my secret, Captain. But I always have to rest my voice anyway, because I talk too much. Well, thanks, Megabyte. I appreciate it. Getting home from work is always nice. I actually have today off. It's my regular day off, and I have tomorrow off from work. I scheduled a day off for tomorrow. A little extra time to relax. I got a new game coming that I want to play. Yeah, too, but that's not good. We all love Eyebot. You have to be a little more careful. He deserves nothing but love and respect and admiration from all of us. Hey, no soft lock this time. We're going to get to see Helmarock come down and get hammered in the face, which is what we all love. And now we're going to get to see him, the face slice. Quick spins. Not taking the hits early on, but we are good now. So here it comes. Helmarock is defeated. And now we'll get to see how many swords are in Forsaken Fortress. Is it 1? Is it 2? Or is it 0? Those are the only 3 answers, folks. Dev says 0. Gotta say, that would be pretty awesome. Seven, interesting. Zombie God, -1. Also, very good guess. 15 swords. Very possible. I guess if you're counting all the swords of, enemies, too. I didn't think about that. I should have been more clear with my terminology. Should have said Master Swords. The other thing, yeah, that could be interesting. The mirror shield, of course, leading to Moblin's letter. If that has one of the swords, that could be huge for Neefe. Alright, we're going to be seeing one of our first Forsaken Fortress checks. What do we have here? Chest on the bed is treasure chart. So, that's one down, guys. He's going to be getting captured here. He's going to go visit jail. Jail is not all that bad of a place in Forsaken Fortress. There's a lot of cool things here, like getting to leave. And we'll get to see the next check. What is it? And a compass. So that is not one of the checks that we can check off just yet, because we do know there has to be a delivery bag and a compass here. Or a delivery bag, a dungeon map and a compass, sorry. Yep, so we're still at 5. And a delivery bag. And there goes all of our hopes and dreams. But, you know, still no swords. So we still could have possible, you know, partial correctness. We could still have a sword be in the Hyrule. That's our best shot now for those of us that like the torture seeds. And then, of course, there is the chance of... yeah, there is the Moblin's letter, you know, and a heart piece. So that's it then for here, I believe. That means that our Phantom Ganon check is skippable. Always nice. No swords in Forsaken Fortress either, so interesting. Very interesting. Neefe finishing up in Tower of the Gods. He is most likely going to be heading to there now, the Forsaken Fortress. Also possible, we still have our hope. That's another one. I forgot about that. Note to Mom could be in Hyrule. Now, if your win's here, do you check Hyrule already right away since you already have all of the Triforce shards? We're going to have Neefe checking out Fire Mountain. That's true. Fire Mountain could have a sword there. That is the last overworld check, non-delivery bag related that we have. He's going to have to refill on his magic. Going to use everyone's favorite frame perfect trick to duplicate soup. So now it comes to be, what order does Wins check all these checks in? And that's unfortunate falling down for him there. Because as we know, Neefe has already checked a lot of these Fire and Ice checks. The ones in Windfall and Needle Rock he's already done. He has done Bomb Island and Angular already, and so we're really neck and neck depending on this this race. And yep, if that is a very good point, Dev. Fire Mountain is very slow. A lot of people, even like Neefe himself has done here, like to save it for last. So Wince may not do that right away. He could check all the delivery bag checks and everything and leave Fire Mountain for last. It's going to be interesting to see, to say the least. So we'll see what is here. This could also, if it ends up being Note to Mom, that could also be, I mean, that would be basically the same thing. Could be interesting there as well. He will be doing, if he does not do that strat, he may have to end up doing the Phantom Ganon fight. We shall see, though. Let's see what's in Fire Mountain. It's a Master Sword. We have one more sword. checked off here. We only need one more. One sword left. We have delivery bag checks, and we have Hyrule. So this is still quite the race. We'll see what Neefe does here. Where is he going to go? He's going to Windfall. He's going to be checking, looks like, the bomb mail. He'll be getting his light arrows here, which is going to be really awesome for Neefe. He's one item away. There it is. There it is. Empty bottle for a win. So that is our third bottle on his side. I am not sure what Neefe is doing. He's getting storage. We're going to be seeing a super swim. So warning here if you're sensitive to flashing, epilepsy, anything like that. So just be warned. There's going to be a lot of flickering on the screen for now. Make sure to let you know as soon as that is done, though. And when starting the Town Flower trading side quest with Tsunari, Neefe's still doing his super swim, so... Be checking mail again here. I'm going to be seeing what's in the Tingle Letter this time. Very, very interesting. And here's Neefe super swimming. He makes it to Forsaken Fortress. Still charging up another super swim though. Errol's Letter. We're going to see what that is now on Wynn's side. It is the other Master Sword. So there it is. Fortunately, no Hyrule. Double dip for us today. Nothing in Hyrule, unfortunately. I know we all had our hopes there, but as unfortunate as that is, we know where everything is, and Winds needs Fire Mountain, and Neefe really just needs to finish where he is right now. I'm imagining Winds is probably going to do this check here, and then he will be going to Needle Rock. Neefe is what he's trying to do here is get a Wind Waker dive to go down below. There, he got it, and he's going to go underneath the island here. Don't ask how. None of us, nobody knows. It doesn't seem like it should be physically possible, but for some reason the game lets us do it. And Neefe swimming around, trying to get up into the Phantom Ganon cutscene. There it is. Fire Mountain may end up being the last thing that Winds checks. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. He also has Bomb Island and Angular Island. We know that Moblin's Letter now, of course, is not going to be very helpful, but those are all checks that he could still potentially have to do. At least checks that he may think he will have to do. And Neefe finishing up the Phantom Ganon fight. And here we go. Winds coming up on Needle Rock. Going to be having some fun shooting some targets in here. Some torches, I should say, rather. Yes, we have a very heated race on us here, you guys. What shaping up to be quite the finish here. Quite the finish. Still anybody's race, really. He's not going to do the storage. He's going to go through this, what, quote unquote, we would determine as being the vanilla strat here. Is going to get his delivery bag here then, fairly quickly. Compass for him. Yeah, the big play is going to be, like you said, like Jarhead said, overworld order. Now I mean, he could go, Winds could go right to Fire Mountain. He could warp there right now. Well, not warp there, but, you know, he could warp to someplace and go there right now. He is going to DRC, so we'll see. He could be getting his item right now. Let's see how this goes. Yep, he is going to Fire Mountain. So that is going to be the play here. He's going to... Yes, definitely a very interesting call. We do have... he still has a handful of other places left to go, including the... what is it called there? Yeah, definitely a really close race. You know, still not over by any means here, really. You know, we have an interesting dynamic going on here. There's a treasure chart for Neefe. Yeah, definitely wins with the lead right now, especially since we all know he's going to be getting his last item here. But yeah, yep, that's true. Jarhead. He still had Cabana, Bomb Island, Ice Ring, and oh, he did do Ice Ring. Wins did do Ice Ring earlier, but yeah, interesting to go out of his way to Fire Mountain when he had a lot of checks all kind of consolidated there together. But still, yes, there's a lot of checks there together. So check density was definitely not on his side checking out Fire Mountain. But the, you know, obviously the randomizer was, because that's where it decided to put our sword. So we're going to be warping in, heading to Hyrule now on Wind's Requiem side. As we see Neefe heading up to finish his last boss, going to be battling, quote-unquote, Helmrock. And yes, Winds is go mode. It's time to go to Hyrule and defeat our final boss of the game, Phase 1 of Puppet Ganon, and then watch the over-glorified cutscene that is the rest of the ending to any Wind Waker randomizer seed. I'm joking, of course. There is still a lot that goes into those, but Puppet Ganon Phase 1 really is the biggest decider in most cases, at least from what I've seen for how the Hyrule goes. But we'll see how Neefe routes this. I'm imagining there's no way he doesn't check the letter from Errol first before doing a few other things, before doing anything. I think Neefe also lost a lot of time not doing the small key skip. If you're asking for my opinion there, to go on to what you said too. But I think that would have been a huge play for him earlier. Although he would have had to go back into DRC anyway, but I think that would have been a really good play. Just having bombs when doing it would have saved him some time in Tower of the Gods as well. But obviously, you know, it's kind of like we all say, hindsight's 20/20. There's so many interesting tricks in the rando that it's so hard to be able to learn them all and be able to think of when to use them all. That's why I'm never any good at this game. Yes, he did have, I would agree with that, definitely better execution. Well, does anybody want to try and take a guess at what kind of finish time we're going to have here for wins? Place your bets now, because 202-ish, 206, 211. All good guesses. 207. Not bad. I myself personally am thinking probably about a 20240, 20230, somewhere in that range. Let me put that in there. $202.30, that's what I'm going with. And there goes Phantom Ganon. He has been eviscerated into light. Always fun to see. Don't get to see that too often. Lots of good guesses in chat. It's going to be interesting to see who is correct. Neefe, assuming he grabs letter to arrow next, which he probably will, that's a pretty common thing to do. We'll be heading into Hyrule, but he is going to be looking like he's about a minute or two behind wins here. So. Working our way up to go face off against Puppet Ganon, everyone's favorite boss fight in Wind Waker. In any game, really, I think. Nobody's going to argue with me there. Puppet Ganon is pretty awesome. Neefe heading to Windfall. We are entering Puppet Ganon here. First shot. Ooh, right on the end of the tail. Unfortunately, missing the crystal. I think it's a crystal, right? And our first hit on the wind side here for Puppet Ganon. Only 2 more hits. Is that what they call it, the orb? Oh, that's unfortunate miss there with that one. Neefe checking and getting his Master Sword here. First thing out of there, good for him. He's going to be able to head straight to Hyrule now as well. So, let's see how this goes. And there's the second hit on wind side. And we got a spinny boy going on Puppet Ganon. He's going to be going around and round and round. When he stops, nobody knows. Is it supposed to be? Am I supposed to call it the orb? I like crystal, though. Still waiting for that third hit. And there it is. We're on to phase 2. Phase 2 of Puppet Ganon. Here we go. Jarhead calls it the ball. That's not a bad call. It is definitely ball-shaped. Now we're on to Spider Ganon, Phase 2. This one is pretty free, most things considered. And if our boy Montgol is in the chat, we'll get to see his favorite trick again here. The barrier skip. And with Crypt Shot on wind side, so that skips a cycle for him here. Looking for some magic, and he gets it, No hurricane barrier skip. That's true. Neither of our runners did that, so I guess in our hearts they both have lost, haven't they? Wynn's finishing up phase 2 of Puppet Ganon as Neefe finishes his barrier skip and is rolling on towards Ganon's tower. And there's the first hit. Oh, just missing on the second hit there. Oh, there's the second hit. No battle percent, that's true. So the last battle is probably an... Oh, and we're done with Puppet Ganon on wind side. Here we go. We're going to be able to climb up the tower and finish off Ganon. So then I guess that means we would all have to believe that the last bottle was somewhere in the delivery bag checks there. One of those letters. Neefe coming up on the Phantom Ganon room here. No bottle percent, match goes to void. Well, let's check and see who's ahead. Oh, he is still ahead. And there goes Phantom Ganon being eviscerated again. So here we have Wins almost up to the top, about to go and enter the Ganon fight, as Neefe makes his way to battle Puppet Ganon here. And there goes the first phase of regular Ganon, not the puppet variety. And now we're on to phase 2. Not quite enough hits there. And entering phase 3 of regular Ganon, so we're coming up on time. Just have to get Zelda. Oh, and we got a quick hit there for Neefe. But Wins hitting Ganon, coming in, and there we have it. 2 hours and 23 seconds. And Wins Requiem is the winner. GG's all around. See Neefe finishing up his phase 1 of Puppet Ganon. Here.
GG, what a nice seed.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Ah. The person that rolled that seed, what a beautiful person.
I'm inclined to agree with you there, honestly.
Yeah, fantastic.
Quite an amazing seed. An amazing race, really. I was thoroughly entertained throughout. I don't know about the rest of you guys.
So yeah, what do you say, Elijah? How was that seed in general? Besides not really being long, I guess.
Right, really good dungeons. Those are definitely some of the faster dungeons. And we got a lot of items early. Got to see some pretty interesting tricks and things that we don't usually get to see. And we did have that forced double dip into DRC, but that was definitely pretty unique. A lot of times when you have an interesting seed like that, you get to see those sort of unique things you don't always get to see, where you have to play a little differently, do things in a weird order maybe. But yeah, I hadn't seen anything quite like that in a very long time.
Cool. So yeah, this gives Wins Requiem actually the first win of 3, so he needs one more to actually make it to the lower bracket semifinals, I believe that is. It's definitely lower bracket round 6. Neefe having a bit of trouble finishing Puppet Ganon here, but there we go.
Perfect. Do we know if we're getting Wins in here for an interview of some kind?
Check in. Give me a second.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity. I actually didn't join the SRL thing, so. What we see here, Neefe finishing up Pup again. He's going to be climbing to the top.
So yeah, we're waiting for Wins and Neefe to join us for an interview. Neefe is about to be finished as well, of course. So let's do a
Okay.
more Thover, Neefe. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need, even though we have hookshot, we don't need it. Oh, congratulations on the victory there, Wins.
GG wins.
Skipped Bomb Island and it worked.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bomb Island, what did Bomb Island had the mirror shield, right? Because Neefe actually did check it.
Oh. I just refused to go there, so when my only checks left were in Overworld or Fire Mountain, Cabana, and Bomb Island, I'm like, I'm not doing Bomb Island, so Cabana would make me do Bomb Island, I'm going to do Fire Mountain first, because I'm stubborn.
Yeah,
So
makes sense.
I said, Bomb Island I promised Bomb Island would be last location, so I was not going to do it.
Yeah, we were all kind of on the edge of our seats here because the Angular, after the mirror shield, actually had the Moblin's letter, and nobody knew where the swords were, and we were all like, and the delivery bag was so late too, we were all, is the delivery bag going to be in Hyrule? Is it going to be forced double dip Hyrule? There was a lot of sort of crazy theories in the chat.
You all wanted this stuff to be evil, don't you?
Yeah, well, we haven't got to see one of those double dip Hyrule seeds yet, and it's definitely...
It's not fun. I've had fire arrows. I've had fire and ice arrows be in the light arrow chest before. That's not fun.
Yeah. Inclined to agree with you. It's fun to watch, I'll say that.
It's not fun to play.
Fair enough. And, of course, Neefe finishing up here, sticking the sword right in Ganon's face.
Yeah.
Man, did you have any other thoughts? Anything else about the seed that you thought was interesting? Or
I figured after I gambled Overworld early and did the 2 really far away fairy fountains hammer before going to DRC because I really didn't want to do DRC with like no bombs or grapple hook or even a bow. Got nothing from both of those. So then when I went into DRC, I was like, I got a pearl, which let you an item, and power bracelets, which let me do all the pop rent. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna leave immediately. Screw DRC. It's probably a double dip. I got the grapple hook immediately from the mail, and I'm like, oh, never mind. I'm going right back in.
Right, and it paid off because you were also able to get the bombs in there as well, and a master sword.
Yeah, I mean, and it ended up, yeah, you never actually had. There was a key in the compass was in the basement, so there was no reason to go down there.
Right, right.
So I never went down to the basement. Yeah, I just did my, I love that, like, one of my favorite strats in DRC is not even the bow strat. My favorite strat at DRC is probably the small key skip. If I get a small key in one of those first, in that rat room, if the 50-50 gives me a small key, then I just store the other chest and skip it.
Right, yeah, it's definitely nice to be able to skip that basement if you can, because it's way out of the way and it's, you know, slow, and especially when you don't have bombs.
Oh yeah, it worked out today. Yeah, when I found bombs in that treasure chart chest, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Welcome, Neefe. GG to you as well.
Yeah, GG, Neefe. It was a really good race, at least from all of us watching here. We were all kind of on the edge of our seats there. But
yeah. I'm really surprised because I messed up storage. I've been practicing storage a lot this week, and then I did lose like a minute to that one little ledge that screws me over every time.
Oh, the one
storage spot
on Cliff Plateau.
Yeah, that's the everyone knows me knows that's the only place in the game I can never get storage. I can get storage everywhere else just fine, but there, no.
Yeah, that one always gets me too. It's
like cursed. Like everyone that knows, if you know me in the chat, yeah, you know that place is cursed for me. Because I got first try storage and below. I got first try storage both for swim and mother and child on even the long blind one. I got first try storage on both of those. But that little ledge outside Cliff Plateau, nope, spin it, lose a minute every. I just accept I'm always gonna lose a minute there.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a tricky one. But what about you?
It's not hard. It's just I'm bad at that one ledge.
Right. Any interesting thoughts on the seed from you, Neefe? Anything that stood out?
I didn't like how DRC was set up at all.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a troll. Yeah, the second I got grapple hook, I just turned around and went right back in.
Hey guys, I'm trying here, okay?
No, you can stop trying. You already made you master sword, vanilla sword once.
Yeah, I felt like that was somewhere I could have lost a lot of time, and it sounds like I did, because I did not go right back into DRC, and I went and did everything else first.
Yeah, there was a couple of big plays we saw. The Mother Child Super Swim for you wins really worked out really well, because Neefe, I know you didn't do that one. And then the small key skip that ended up leading you to the bombs worked out really well as well, which is what wins did. Just because of how wonky the DRC layout was, and it was unfortunate.
Now that I think about the DRC layout, it actually would have been possible to do everything but the boss without the grapple hook. But the second I got the pearl and power bracelets, I was like, nope, I'm out. If the grapple hook's in there, then it just grapple hook. Any dungeon item in the dungeon that it's normally in vanilla, it sucks.
Right. Yeah, and and it was kind of unfortunate too, because we were watching, when Neefe, when you left there and you went into, Forbidden Woods, without bombs, we were all kind of like, well, it's basically a 50-50, right? The bombs could be in somewhere in, Forbidden Woods or anywhere really, but then you have DRC, you only have that one spot left in Logic, which it could be the small key or it could be nothing. A small key could be in the Tingle chest, right? You might have to find the bomb somewhere else, and then if you go back to DRC and you check that big key chest and it's not there, then you're kind of sunk again. So it's a very difficult position to be in.
Dumb DRC seeds are annoying. What's funny is I was actually going to buy hints when I got that money from Diamond Step early. I was like, oh, I'm going to buy hints, and then I saw Earth and Wind Temple were both empty, and I'm like, never mind.
Yeah, it's definitely...
Because hints are good if both of those are in. If both Earth and Wind Temple are in, hints are good to go for then, because those are really checked in. So there's a good chance you might get a bow or sword hint ending up in one of those, and that might help you make that decision.
Right.
Because that's one of the biggest things I don't like about this rando sometimes. Sometimes you'll be in almost go mode, missing one or two items, and you have all of Wind and all of Earth Temple. You have all the items for both of them, so they're both an equal opportunity to go to first. And logically, it makes more sense to do Wind Temple first, because go moding Earth Temple is faster. But at the same time, if you guess wrong, the other person goes there, and whoever guessed right wins. And I hate when that happens. So I would go for hints for those.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely tough when it comes down to a 50-50 like that, because you can think the strategy of, I can clear this one faster, so maybe I'll do that first since I can full clear it faster. But also, it really just comes down to the 50-50, right? Making the correct play.
Oh, and then the only reason I got the sword in Fire Mountain is because I was stubborn as hell, and I skipped Bomb Island, and I was refusing to go there.
Yeah, that was definitely, because that was what we were wondering. We were all we didn't know what the overworld thought process would be, and Neefe was finishing up, going into Forsaken Fortress, and you had just needed the one sword, and you were doing the overworld, and we were all kind of like, where's he going to go? This can end up being really close, depending on which route he takes in the overworld, which item or which location he goes to first.
Well, there's two reasons for that. Logically, it makes sense to do check density, but as I said, I had made a promise to get Bomb Island as long as possible. And if I did Cabana, I was going to do Bomb Island next, because I'm already next to it. So because of that, I had to go, well, I guess if it's Cabana, that's going to really hurt.
Right. Bomb Island is slow.
Sure. It's like chickens in Ocarina of Time. I'm on team never do chickens unless you have Cackway the hero. So I'm never going to do Bomb Island unless I get forced there early. So I'll win or lose on races on Bomb Island. If Bomb Island has something like a sword, so it doesn't unlock anything, then you know what, GG, because I'm probably gonna last location it.
Yeah. Does anybody in chat have any other questions?
Tuba has one.
Tuba has one about Forsaken Fortress, and I don't. Neefe, Tuba wants to know when you plan to learn the Forsaken Fortress strats and.
I don't know. Maybe soon.
Which strat are you talking about?
To be able to do the Mother-Child Super Swim, or doing the to be able to do Helmrock first, storing the chest and doing Helmrock first, I guess.
Oh well, yeah. Let me just gonna stop you right there, Neefe. Don't bother, because in 1.7 that strat's invalidated now.
Why is it invalidated?
Because The beta warp to Forsaken Fortress now exists. Super swimming to FF entirely is dead. You can just warp straight there now.
Yeah, it's really
cheating.
only good if you're going to go mode it.
Yeah, no. In the beta of Wind Waker, there was a warp to Forsaken Fortress that wasn't in the final game. So Lago decided, hey, you know, for the randomizer, let's put it in, which is very good. But so when like Season 4 happens with which will be on the newer version, there's no reason to super swim anymore because you can just warp straight there. The super swim might be slightly faster if you do it frame perfectly and do everything like first sword, first try and everything, but that's only for go mode FF, and there's almost no point. You're better off just fighting Phantom Ganon and just doing everything.
What if you do it manually, Wins?
What manually?
The super swim.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, let's pause it for 10 minutes and randomize.
No, just do it like the any percent runners and just charge it manually without pauses.
Unbuffered. Let's do it.
Unbuffered manual super swim. No, because I am not good at this game. Apparently, if that's what if they're doing that now, I'm never speedrunning Wind Waker.
Yes, they are.
How fast do you have to flick the stick to do that?
I think Linkus does it 17 times a second or something like that when he timed himself.
What they do before they start, they actually change the default position of the controller to be up. So all they have to do is basically flip from up to middle instead of up down up down up down.
Oh, so they're controller modding?
No, they're just during like the engine has it, so you can actually, if you hold the control stick to a certain position, that will be the new neutral until you unplug. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, count me out on that one.
It's still stupid, but yeah, the sub 1 world record has it. So.
You know what? Count me out. I'll enjoy watching Linkus, Gymnast, and all those other people speedrun Wind Waker. And not be joining. Manual Super Swim is the reason I do not want to play that game.
All right, folks.
All right.
All right. I hope you all enjoyed what you saw. This was only game 1. Game 2 to come next week, as I heard.
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. And I want to give a big shout out.
Game 3 will also be Tuesday. If neefe wins, Game 2 will also. Game 3 will also be Tuesday.
All right. So I hope you all enjoyed that, and we'll be back on Tuesday. I want to give a warm shout out to Elijah and to iBot, who did tracking and some commentary in the beginning. That's it for now. We'll be back later on ZSR with the A Link to the Past All Dungeons community race, the last community race before the actual tournament starts later this month. And yeah, you'll hear more of that later from Norinato. Thanks everyone for watching. And I hope you all have a pleasant evening. Catch you later.
Thanks, Trey. I
think the Linkus race has already been scheduled. I could be wrong.
No, they are still working.
Well, I mean, this week was midterms. The reason I got delayed and we ended up doing Thursday instead of like Tuesdays because midterms was this week, so that kind of made it hard.
But yeah, they are still figuring it out. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Catch you all later.